Computer. All right, we are recording. Good evening, everybody. It's just about the beginning of March, end of February 2019. I always like to say in about the second month of the year how this already feels like the year is almost over because it goes so fast. I mean, you know, it was like the other day, it was half a year into the other year. It always blows my mind how time just moves so quickly. And you know, we're so excited. I think the reason that time moves quickly for us is because we're really up to something. And the more you're doing and the more full your life is, the quicker things seem to move. So welcome to the All Heat team call. This is Nikki Cotton. Chris and I host it along with the other Heat national marketing directors. And I'm really excited for the call. For those of you that don't know me, Chris and I have been part of the Juice Plus family for 28 years. And we've really enjoyed creating a healthy family and creating a healthy lifestyle and creating a healthy community. And I think that's what we're really all about. So we're going to learn a little bit more from Stacey, how she's doing that with her team. So I'm going to see what I can remember, Stacey, about you, because I loved reading your really short bio and I don't like reading them. So first of all, what really caught my attention around Stacey is, number one, she's got two boys. They're 7 and 8 years old. But if we go back a ways, she got a scholarship to I've forgotten the University of Maryland. Shoot, I didn't want to look down. Got a full ride scholarship in gymnastics. So Stacey is definitely an athlete. She met her husband there, and he had two scholarships, football and baseball scholarship, right? So both athletes, both really probably health conscious, lots of movement going on. And when they got married and they had their first child, there was lots of allergies going on that I know, Stacey, you're going to share with us how this created a healthier family for you and what you went through in terms of Juice Plus. But the part that really caught my attention is she was in corporate America for about 11 years. And I want to hear about this. She left corporate America to work in the field of nutrition. But that was before she heard about Juice Plus. 10 days after she quit and took this leap of faith from her corporate job, she heard about Juice Plus 10 days later. And basically the rest is history. So we're going to hear about that. And I am going to read the bottom part of this. Stacey is grateful every single day to be able to work from home doing something she loves. And isn't that what we really all want to do, is something we love? So I'm going to turn this over to you, Stacey. I am putting you on spotlight so that people can clearly see you. And here we go. So we're excited to hear from you and what you have to teach us.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be here. Nikki, thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this call. And it's funny, when Nikki reached out to me and said, hey, you know, I'd love for you to maybe do a training for our team. I said, I would love to. One of my favorite things to do is to train. I love to train. You know, I'm a coach. I coach an elite gymnastics team. I coach my kids' travel soccer team. I'm their head coach. I love to coach, and it's why I love to train. Right? It's like a different version of coaching. So I'm going to quickly tell you my story, and then I really want to dive into some action, some things that you guys can walk out of here tonight and be like, man, I am going to be better because of this, right? So I was in corporate America for 11 years. And the first part of my career, I thought I was fine, because I didn't know any better. You know, I think what happens a lot of times is I came out of college. I was a biology and kinesiology major. I'm a science nerd. I love science. And I came out of college and got a job in corporate America. So I was making a ridiculous salary. I had a car and an expense account and all these fancy things. And I felt fancy, right? I thought this is forever. I'm supposed to be fancy. It wasn't until I had my first child that I thought, this isn't right. I truly want to be home with my children. But my husband is a teacher and a coach here in Long Island in New York, where we live, with our two boys and our wild, crazy puppy. You know, I was the income. So my husband does tremendous as a teacher and a coach, but I was the big income. And you're not just walking away from that, right? It's not something you're just going to be like, I'm done. So when my oldest was 4 months old, for the very first time, we gave him rice cereal. And about an hour after we gave him rice cereal, he started vomiting so profusely that his body almost went into shock. We almost lost him because of rice cereal. I just got chills all over my body. And I'm a crier, so I might cry. And you know what happened is our whole lives changed with food at that point. See, as an athlete, I thought I was healthy, but I wasn't. I thought I could eat Chipotle and TCBY after I trained 6 hours that day, but that wasn't refueling my body. So I had injury. I was sick. The two biggest meets in my career, in my whole career, my national championships in high school, my national championships in college, I had 104 fever, oxidative stress. I know that now. I didn't know that then. So here I am as a full-time working mommy. I'm paying my nanny more than my mortgage to raise my children, and I hated it. I don't let my children use the word hate, but I hated this. I did not want to do this anymore in this corporate America world. I wanted something more. You know, we do those calls these days called Meant for More. I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I knew I was meant for more. I knew this couldn't have been my forever, but I wasn't about to walk away from a tremendous six-figure income. So with that, as fate has it, so I have my first child. He has this horrible allergy. Our lives change with food. I become very holistic by nature. And the corporate career that I was in was like the antithesis of what I believed in at this point. So I was really struggling on so many levels to do my JOB, but yet live this holistic lifestyle. So my second child comes into play. He is an incredibly healthy young man, again, yearning to stay home, but I wasn't able to walk away. So October of 2014, I was downsized with the company. But like 24 hours after I was downsized, I was getting recruited for almost double the income that I was making from dozens and dozens of other corporate careers, other corporate jobs. And every single time I said, thank you, but no thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. Because something was telling me something's coming. Something's coming. Be patient, but something big is going to come and it's going to rock your world. So that was a Wednesday that I was downsized. That following Friday, I went to a friend's wine and wellness event, and that's where I learned about Juice Plus, the product and the business. So this made sense for me. I felt like this was a door that was my door. This was the door I was supposed to run through, and I did. I literally tied my sneakers real tight, and I took off. Because you have to understand, here I am, turning down these big deal corporate opportunities because I wanted to be home with my children. My purpose and my why were rock solid. There was no excuse. There was just action. I had to take action, and I did. So a little over 2 years is when I hit National Marketing Director. And believe this, October 21st, 2017 is when I stood on the stage and gave my National Marketing Director speech, which was 3 years to the day that I was downsized from that corporate career. That was meant for me. That position, that moment was meant to be there. And I'm forever grateful that God put this in my path and that I saw the opportunity and I ran with it. So now here I am. Now I'm a stay-at-home mom who's trying to build an empire with babies. I mean, this was 4 years ago, so my kids were little. So I had a full-time nanny, you have to understand, and she did a lot. So now I'm home trying to be a stay-at-home mom and build this career. Not easy. But that was going to be an excuse. I needed to make it happen. So I had to get really smart and really efficient and become very, very productive. Not just busy, productive. So for me, the way that my mind works is find a need, fill a need. I am a very systems-oriented person, so I put systems in place early on. So my sponsor, the person that signed me up, started like 5 minutes before me. She was maybe 6 weeks before I started. So she didn't know much more than I did, and I was in it. Like I had my blinders on, I was in it. So I was creating these systems, and I'm a very system-oriented person. So I needed to understand what to do and how to do it, but at a very high level. So there's a few things that I put into place, and I've tweaked them. Because what do we know? When you first start to do something, you're like, man, that worked. And that worked for a little while. But as you grow into the position you're in, things start to shift. So that one system still works, but I've changed a few pieces to work now. Okay? So one of the things I want to talk to you guys about is kind of getting back to basics. I think that one of the most incredible things that we have with this company is the amazing amount of resources. But I think one of the things that can really hurt us is the amazing amount of resources, right? It's an absolute incredible blessing, but it's sometimes hard because we have a lot to offer. So I want to kind of take us back to kind of change up a little bit of some of the basic things that we are doing, but with a little bit of a different perspective, okay? So I do a tremendous amount of personal development. I spend at minimum 30 minutes to an hour a day on me, reading, podcasts, I take courses. I do a lot of things to help develop me because the person I want to be, I'm not that person right now. The goal that I have for myself, I need to grow into that goal. So I need to consistently work on me, and I do. And one of the things that I've done that I've started to implement is something called mind mapping. Have you guys heard of mind mapping? Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick idea of what it is, and I'm going to tell you why that we're talking about it tonight. So mind mapping is like a tool pretty much that stimulates your brain to think differently. It really helps your brain kind of expand from this one-dimensional thinking into something a little bit more substantial, okay? So there are different levels that are like levels that are associated with mind mapping, but ultimately it's formed around this central idea, this central thing. Then your brain is going to be stimulated to create the associations of ideas that in theory are going to become a bigger picture around this one specific idea. So what happens is when you are actually doing this kind of mind mapping, you have to understand that your brain reacts. Your brain grows and becomes stimulated by imagination and by association. So when we associate things with themselves, we become creative and we make connections. And then those connections are what bring us outside the box. Okay? So let me explain to you how mind mapping has come into play for me for this specific thing. We're going to talk about a memory jogger right now, but it's a little bit of a different twist on it. Okay? So when I do mind mapping, a lot of times it's to be creative. It's to think of an idea, a new training, or new something that I want to do. And how this works is this. You put a central idea in the center, and then it grows. So one day I was sitting down. It was probably about a month and a half or so ago. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I feel like my network, and how many people feel this way? I feel like my network sometimes gets a little bit small. And I feel like, well, where else am I going to go? Who else am I going to reach out to? So I thought, I will tell you that. Grace, Not Perfection is the title of the book. So what I was doing is one day I was sitting there and I thought, why can't I mind map with people that I want to grow a network with? That should be a great way to do it. And let me tell you something. It is. It's a great way to expand your network. So let me walk you through this. So you're going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to do this. I want you to watch, okay? But then I'm going to challenge you to go ahead and do this. So I want you to take 10 people that are on your memory jogger, okay? 10. You're like the assignment, right? The challenge for you this week is to take 10 people from your memory jogger. And I want you to do this. I'm calling it your sphere of impact or your sphere of influence. We are going to take those 10 people and I'm going to show you how those 10 people you can have a greater impact with them just by doing this simple exercise, okay? So you're going to make a circle in the middle like the sun. And then you're going to make 3 lines outside of the circle because in the center, you're going to put one person's name. So you're going to have 10 pieces of paper for each of the 10 people that you're going to choose to challenge yourself for this week. And in the center is that individual person's name. So guys, for tonight, I'm going to use the example of my brother, okay? His name is Walter. So Walter, because of my brother, and here's an incredible statistics. Do you know that the average person, for every one person, there's 3 people associated with that one person that you are that they call are in your network. For every one person, there's 3 people that you know because of that person. So a lot of times, again, one-dimensional thinking, we forget to push ourselves outside the box. So this is going to help us train our brain to have a little bit more of like creative thinking. So I have my brother in the center of this box. So because of my brother, his 3 specific friends that I'm thinking of. okay? His friend Matt, his friend Timmy, and his friend Nacho. His friend's name is not Nacho, but they've been best friends since they were little, and we've always called him Nacho, and I kid you not, I don't actually know his name. I'm not even joking. So we call him Nacho. It is what it is, right? So now I have, because of my brother, that one person, the average person knows 3 associated people from one person. So now because of my brother, I have these 3 associated people. Well, now let's think about something else. My brother's friend Matt is a personal trainer, okay? So I know I want to talk to him about the product and the business, but Matt's brother is an organic chef, and he owns these awesome organic restaurants. So I want to talk to his brother. His name is Rich. I want to talk to his brother about the Tower Gardens. Matt's sister owns and runs a gym. Not the gym that Matt works in, but her own gym. So I know because of Matt, his sister's name is Ruth, I want to talk to Ruth about the product and the business. So again, here's my brother. I have his 3 people, because minimum, we know 3 people associated with one person. But now Matt, I have now added another 2. Timmy, as an example, his mom has diabetes, and her name is Wendy, and I know she's struggling. I know she's struggling with her health. That impact needs to happen. But now because of Wendy, I know that her grandchildren are always sick. Always sick, because I see it on Facebook. So because of Wendy, I know I want to impact her grandchildren. And I'm going to keep going. Do you see how this works? Right? And then for Nacho, his wife is a stay-at-home mom, and they're struggling. So I know I want to talk to her about the business. And this is just an example. This does go on and on. So because of my brother, right, that one-dimensional thinking, I just put down Walter. That's the only name I put down. But now I have an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because of him, I have an additional 8 people. I just blew up my network. So if you think your network is small, think again. Take people from your memory jogger. Take that list, take 10 of them, and challenge yourself to do this with all 10 people. And this is just an example. I literally can go on that so I did this the other day from my brother. There was actually 18. I had 18 extra people because of my brother. People, guys, I've been doing this for 4 years. I never thought about those other people until I started writing this down. Because what mind mapping does is it helps you associate one thing with another. Once you make that connection, the expansion happens. Okay? Does that make sense? Can you give me a thumbs up if that works? Okay, awesome. So that's one way. So we just reinvented our memory jogger, right? We just reinvented how we can take, like if you feel, my network is small, and we can grow it like crazy. Okay, there's an opportunity that we can do that, and that's a great way to do it. The second thing, when we're talking about that list, a memory jogger, is I call it your reverse list. Here's another thing, and now maybe you guys do this, but I wasn't doing this, and I am now, and my team is now as well, and I see such a difference. It makes such an impact. Again, it's another opportunity to do something different.
Okay, can you hear me, Stacey? Because you're frozen. Is everybody else there? Can somebody else? Okay, so everybody else is there. It's not me. So let's see, Stacey. Let me see what's cooking. Hang on, Stacey, you are frozen. Yikes. Oh, now we're seeing Julie, and now we're seeing me. All right, so I'm going to try to get a hold of, maybe she'll come back on again. So hang on. Oh man, this is such a good training, right, you guys? Absolutely.
Call me when she gets back on. fabulous training.
If anybody, let's see.
I'm going to start doing the activity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really great. If anybody sees her face come on, let me know. Oh, there she is. Okay, so that's good.
So I'm so sorry. This just happened on my computer.
Okay, I've lost you again. Let's see where. Oh, there you are. Okay, so I'm gonna spotlight.
I'm so sorry. My blue. Hold on.
Okay, you're back.
Can you hear me?
We can hear and see you. And
Yay!
the recording never stopped. We just had a little blip in the middle. We're good to go.
I'm so sorry. My computer had the blue screen of death, so that's never fun.
Oh,
never fun. That's okay, because that's why we have cell phones, right? That helps.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was talking to you about the second way that we can create and kind of build our lists, right? So another way we can do this, I call this like a reverse list almost, is kind of what I call it. So one of the ways that I've been doing this for the last, I would say, handful of weeks, and my team has dove in with me, is instead of, sometimes we get stuck when we're trying to figure out who we want to talk to and what that looks like, right? So why not challenge yourself to dive into 2 new videos a week? Go to Healthy Living Revolution, the lives, those previous recorded ones, any of the question and answers from Lisa Pebble, any of the videos from on the research, right? Watch them. Even if you've watched them before, you're going to pick up something new a second and third and fourth time. So watch those videos, and guess what that's going to do? That's going to inspire you to think of new people. So again, an interaction that creates a visual experience allows your mind to think outside of that one dimension. Okay. So typically from watching a video, statistics, I'm a numbers person, the average person will actually think of between 3 to 5 people that might want to learn more about that information, or that person is thinking, wow, that would be great to send to, or this person would love it. I did it today. I watched this motivational video that was remarkable, and I literally thought I sent it to 5 people right after, because what happens is when you're watching something, it inspires you to think outside of what you're originally thinking, and it forces you to get creative, right? Get creative. So I call that the reverse list. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, especially for new people. If they come to the table with a handful of people and you're saying you have to have more people than that, well, work with them on creating that sphere of impact, doing the mind mapping. Also, challenge them to watch videos and think of who they can send that information to. Okay? So that's another way to kind of expand your network in a way that maybe you aren't doing it right now. And maybe the way that you have been doing it has been fine and it's working, but maybe you need to kind of stir it up a little bit, and this could certainly help. So now we have our list. Now what are we going to do? We need to move to action. And that's where it's called your hot hands list. So I theme everything. I love themes. It's just how my brain works. Okay. So I kind of coined the phrase hot hands list. It's a list of 10 people, and your goal is to move them to an action. That's what it means. And if you think, like, what is hot hands, Stacey? That's so silly. Well, let's think about this. If you touch something hot, what happens? You're going to move, right? You are physically going to move. So it's the same thing. You want 10 people on your hot hands list, and your goal is to move them to an action. But for the last few years, our hot hands list is what we do on Momentum Monday. But what I've realized is I need to be more specific about what that's going to look like. So I'm going to tell you the details of what you're going to do with your hot hands list. I'm going to email this to Nikki so she can send this to all of you guys, okay? But what I want you, I'm going to explain how this is going to be probably one of the most incredible tools you can have in your back pocket for training and for yourself, okay? So your hot hands list is those 10 people. You have your memory jogger now. You're going to take 10 people and you're going to put them on your hot hands list. And on this sheet that I created, you're going to take one person at a time. So I'm going to take Kelly. I don't know. So I'm going to put Kelly's name at the top. There are specific things, because I'm on my phone, I can't share my screen, but I'll just explain them to you. There are 6 specific things that you need to do with each and every one of those people. Okay.
The first thing you need to do so now you're going to focus on one person at a time. What is their need? Point number one, what is their need? Is it cardiovascular health, immune support, digestive health? Are they looking for a business? What is their need? You're going to write it out. Number two, how can we fill their need with our product or our business? Okay. What does that look like? How can we fill their need with our product or our business? Number three, what resource are you going to share with them? What resource will you be sharing with them? Number four is verbiage. I recommend picking up the phone and having conversations with people. People say, how did you build your business in a little over 2 years? I kid you not, I still have a house phone and I use it all day, every day. I call people all the time. You have the power of your voice. It is a secret weapon that is on your face that you can use every single day that we a lot of times shy away from it. So when I'm saying verbiage, okay, yes, we can message people. And I know that probably many of you have heard me say this, but you cannot hear or feel passion behind a message. Guys, it's just not going to happen. So with this verbiage, you're going to write out what you're going to say, okay? The fifth thing is going to be, what is your goal, right? What is the next step? What is the action step that you're looking for this person to move to? And the sixth part is when. When are you going to reach out to them? So now these details, right? Again, I'm a national marketing director and I do this every single week and you know why? Because we get stuck in these habits. And in order to change habits, we need awareness. Well, I'm making you aware that we need to stir the pot a little bit and make some changes in order for growth. Okay. So what I do this every single week before I prepare to reach out to somebody. I truly dive in and do this because sometimes we focus on what our agenda is, not what theirs is. And you know what else? It gets us really good about looking at some new resources and diving into some of the new things that are out there. But probably one of the most impactful ways that you can use this hot hands list is for training new team members. Literally, I sign somebody up within 24 hours. I call it, a launch call. It's my launch with them. And all I ask is that they come to the table with 10 people that they know they want to impact. That's it. I'm not having them create a memory jogger. We're not doing any of that. I want 10 people. And then on that call, the most important thing that I'm doing with them is doing Hot Hands List 2.0 with all of those people. Okay. And why that's such a crucial thing is because I am showing them not what good looks like, but what great looks like from day one. So now here they are, right? They feel confident. They know what to say. They know where to find resources. They know what resource to use. Say they want to reach out to someone because their kid has eczema. Their friend's kid has eczema. Well, maybe 3 weeks later, she meets someone at gymnastics and the mom is complaining that her kid has eczema. Bam. She now has the tools to share with that person already what to do. She already knows what to do. You are truly giving them this tool, giving them the equipment they need to launch and launch strong and launch quickly. So that is your Hot Hands List 2.0. And again, I'm going to send that out to Nikki. And I want to leave you with just 3 quick things. And I know it's 9:30, but I want to leave with these 3 quick things. And I'm so sorry that my computer literally shut off in the middle of all of this. So Caitlin, number 5 was, what is their goal? What is your goal on that interaction? What is the next step that you're trying to take with that person? Is it that you want them to watch a video? They want to say yes to the business. You want them to do whatever. So that's what number 5 is. So the last 3 things I'm going to leave you with. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to just tell you, don't need to rush. I think this is such a hot training, and I'm going to guess my people feel the same. And so if you want to go a little bit longer, I'm getting thumbs up. If you want to go a little bit longer, let's just go for it. Dig in. Let's do it.
Thank you.
People need to leave because we normally end now. It's recorded. So I am saying my hat's off to you. Loving this. Keep going.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to answer that. So one of the people asked is for number 5. So number 5, guys, on that list, and again, you're going to have this, is next steps. So when you're doing your hot hands list, is moving someone to an action, right? What is the next step? What is your goal? So understand what that can be. That doesn't mean that they have to say yes to the business. No, the day you plant the seed is not the day you're harvesting, right? So what that means is that maybe that next step is that they agree to watch the video. Maybe the next step is they agree to watch the video. You set up a follow-up 3-way call, right? So next steps can be small, but it has to be a movement forward. If we're moving backwards, that's not what we're looking for. We're trying to move forwards, okay? So whoever asked, I hope that was helpful. So I want to leave you guys with this. Again, I do a lot of personal growth. It's one of my favorite things to do. And when I do a lot of this, you know what I hear? I hear 3 things a lot, 3 specific themes that I'm constantly hearing over and over again. And I feel like I needed to share it this morning. I thought about this morning and I said, you know what? I need to share this with you guys tonight because it just was on my heart for sure. So these 3 things it's really about kind of 3 things to kind of pushing yourself into greatness. The very first thing that you hear a lot when you do these, when you're doing personal development, is the word belief, right? Is the word belief. That's number 1. And understand how I want to explain that to you tonight. Yes, you need to believe in yourself. Yes, you need to believe in you. But what I want you to think about with the word belief is, do you believe that you are capable of more? Do you truly believe that you are capable to do something bigger than where you are right now? Because that belief, you need to be able to close your eyes and visualize what that goal is. Can you see it? What does that person look like? What does she wear when she walks into a training? How does she speak? Who is that person? Can you close your eyes and visualize who that person is? That belief needs to be rock solid. You need to know. That needs to be very clear. What do you believe you are capable of? The second theme that I hear all the time is the word commit. So understand how I want to speak to you tonight about commit. In this specific situation, what I want you to think about is, are you willing to commit to yourself to grow into the person that can achieve that goal? Are you willing to put in the time to focus on you to grow into the person that can get there? Right? My goal is to be a 100 Club national marketing director. I am not that person. I can't own that space right now. That is a space that I'm going to grow into, and I'm going to learn, and I'm committed to growing every step of the way. Because you know what's a controllable? Me. I control the amount of time that I put in and into what? What you feed your mind is what is going to help you grow, or it's going to hold you back. You want to launch? You want to take flight? You got to get out of this rat race. You got to get out of this wheel. And the only way you're going to do that is by taking control and understanding that you need to commit to yourself to grow into that person. Because I'm sure everybody has a bigger vision for themselves. Are you there right now? If you're not, are you willing to commit your time and your effort into growing into that person? Always believe in you. Put your money on you, because I guarantee you can do it. And then the last thing is about taking action. That is probably, you hear that everywhere. Take action, take action. Well, what does that mean? Well, tonight we talked about taking action in a way that maybe is going to stir up your business a little bit. You know, we can spend a lot of time being really busy, but are we productive? Can you look in yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and say, hey, Stacey, did you play full out today? Did you make you proud today? If you truly think that you killed it, then you high five yourself and you feel good about what you did. But if you know that you were just in that wheel of busy, but there was at no point that you felt like you took a step forward to launch, then you need to reevaluate, stir it up, and make a change. So tonight was about taking some very basic things and creating a different vision for what you could do with these simple steps. Creating that sphere of impact, taking that one person and making it into 18, like I did with my brother. And then taking that hot hands list for yourself. Now, it doesn't matter how tenured you are. I use it every day. It's for yourself. It's to train your team. So you're training people to see what great looks like from day one. And then at the end of all of this, you are the common denominator. Believe that you can. And then you got to put the work in to growing into the person that you want to become. We all believe that you guys can do this. So now it's your turn. Thanks so much.
Yay! That was absolutely stunning. So first of all, I'm just curious if somebody, do you have a few more? I know it's late for you. A lot of us are on
No, I'm fine. Everybody's sleeping in my house, so we're good.
If anybody just has a question that they are just dying to ask, you can either put it on the chat or unmute yourself and go ahead and ask Stacey. So we'll give a second just to see if anybody's got a last minute question.
Can I ask something?
Yes, go for it. Who is that?
It's Lisa Blaisdell. Stacey, this was awesome.
Lisa Blaisdell. I know that girl.
You're amazing. Okay, so with the expanded, the reverse memory jogger, what if you know the person, like you know the people in your brother's life, obviously, but what if you've got a winner and, you know, maybe you've talked to them, they're not interested. How do you, but you don't necessarily know their network. What do you do in that situation? So you've got your circle around this one person. What do you do with those lines? How do you get to those lines? How do you do it?
So how am I, so you're saying, how am I going to take that one person and connect with the other people?
Yes.
Through that person.
Right. Okay.
So for example, I'm going to use this. So I did, I coach an elite gymnastics team, and one of the moms is, she's one of my girls, and one of the moms has a huge impact out in the Hamptons. She's like in moms groups. She runs all these different things. And I am close to the mom, but the mom's network and who she's connected with, I mean, I had like 20 different lines that I was like, she knows this person. So I'm going to connect through the people that I know. So I said to the mom just recently, I said, hey, I know that you run X, Y, or Z, right? And you know that I am big into health and wellness. I'm a holistic nutritionist. What I would love to do is to have you help me connect to some of those people, because I think that we could have a really strong impact if you allow me the opportunity to share some things with them. So we have now set up where one of the lead moms in this one section, we're going to have, she runs all these different like mommy groups and for different aged moms. And she has like a leader in each one. So now the leaders are going to all get together and we're going to go to lunch in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
So you're going to use your people that you know to create those connections.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I was encouraged for you to set an example with that. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Great call.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I think we're good to go. And you know that I've done a few calls like that recently, Stacey, where I called somebody with a distributor and really talked about the fact that they could be a great connector. They loved their Juice Plus, but they weren't interested in the business. And that's exactly how we really approached them, saying, if we helped you, we actually gave her some verbiage to introduce them to us that made it comfortable for her. And we're going to see where it takes us. But that is something that you can do on a 3-way connection call, with somebody that you consider the expert. Get that connector on the phone with your mentor and propose what's possible to them if you're not sure how to do it on your own.
100%. And you know what I feel like Nikki has worked really well too, and this is something I've adopted in the last probably, I don't know, handful of months. Like those distributors, like you're saying, that, are just kind of hanging out. They're not doing anything, but they're happy where they are. I've started to love on them like customers. I love on them legitimately like customers. And you know why? Because happy customers are going to continue to take the product, and they're going to continue to share it, no matter if they're going to get customers or not. So I love on my the people that are happy where they are, I literally love on them as customers. And do you know what's happened in the last few months? Those people that I've loved on more now than I was in the past, they both actually, I have two. So of these 5 that I'm thinking of, 3 of them are like so happy that I'm loving on them, where I really wasn't giving them as much attention because they were distributors, right? Well, 3 of them are thrilled and our relationship is great, but 2 of them were like, you know what, this is so much fun. In the last 2 months combined, they're on separate teams, they added 12 new customers.
Wow.
They've been and now they're both going for VF, where they've been sitting at DD for 2 years.
Wow.
For 2 years.
So
So if we take our team that are just happy where they are, but love on them like customers, you never know what that could yield. So that connection conversation is a lot more comfortable, right? Than to say, hey, I haven't spoken to you in a year. Let's connect with somebody. They're not going to want to help you. But if they truly see that you really care, that they're on the product, are they taking all the products? Can we help love on you like a customer? And they're going to want to expand. Does that make sense?
absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. And it's about creating deeper relationships with those people. Maybe you don't know them that well. So just finding out, gee, you've been on my team for 2 years and I don't know you all that well. I want to know more about you. So really connecting in a deeper level in relationship, which lets them then trust you more to the next step with you. I think that was great. So I am going to put this back into gallery view. I am going to unmute everybody. And I want you guys to give a really warm shout out. Thank you. A huge shout out.
Thank you. Thank you, Stacey.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you, Stacey.
It was a great training.
Absolutely great. Thank you.